By the way, just before we go to the next interview, remember Sim and I were talking about the folks who would get the vaccine first. And Sim asked the question if the teachers were involved, and I wasn't certain. So I'm reading here, among those to be vaccinated in the first phase are healthcare workers, persons 60 years and over, elected politicians, including those serving at the local government level, members of the JCF, members of the JDF, correctional officers, customs and immigration officers, inmates, and persons living in infirmaries. And that makes up 440,000 persons. So the teachers are not in this first batch. But remember, they said they were getting some more. All right, let's move on. It has been a recurring discussion about music and violence and if one influences the other. Recently, Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness said, and I quote, "In the last few decades, the music being produced by some local entertainers have been overtaken by violence." Recording artist QQ, who we've known for many, many moons, joins us to give us his take on the issue. Morning, my friend. Welcome again to Smile Jamaica. It's morning time.
Morning, thank you very much, man. How you doing?
I can't complain. Give thanks. You remember the first time you were on the show? Can you remember?
A very, very, very long time ago.
We were talking about that you started before you even went to Calabar, didn't you? So you started at what age?
9,
And
but
you
broke the record at 10.
and you are 16 years later on, right?
I'm 26 now.
26.
Okay.
Yeah. So 16 years later.
9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said 10 and 16 or 26.
It was 9.
Or you said 10 after you said
Okay.
9. 10.
Started at 9, but broke the record at 10. So I think I was on the show at 10.
When you started, what kind of music did you want to do when you started in this business? When I say what kind of music, I know Jamaican music, obviously, but where did you want to go with your kind of music?
Well, when I started, I wanted to do reggae music, solely conscious vibes, starting out with Poverty and Better Must Come. You know, it was the type of music I still love to this day. And that was the type of music I started out doing. And it was so funny. A lot of people would say, "Oh, a child shall lead the way," and it was a good thing. But then at the same time, I got such a pushback from the same people saying, "Oh, him should have school, if nothing I do this, he's too young." And it's conscious music, you know? So I was kind of a bit perturbed and confused as to why the reaction was that way.
So you didn't leave school to the music though, QQ?
No,
Right, so you're doing both.
Right.
Was it ever your desire? I mean, you said you grew up seeing a lot of violence and so on. Did you ever tip your own toe into that water, or your songs were mainly, I remember you for these songs that you just mentioned and for dancing tunes, but not for
Right.
violence, gun violence or anything like that?
No, I've never done a gun song. I've never done a song that glorifies any form of negativity or violence.
And why did you choose not to go that route?
I mean, you see, we when you have a platform, right, you must utilize it in the best way possible, not only for yourself, but for persons around you. I was a young individual, and I wanted to be an example to every youth in Jamaica, you know, who felt like you couldn't have a child star, you know. So I definitely, because of what I saw around me growing up in Marvally, you know, which is garrison, as they call it. You know, my father was around a lot of youths, and sometimes we see some of the youths, and then a couple months later they're gone. Where are they? Either they're dead or they're in the jailhouse. You realize that negativity brings negative energy. So you try to put yourself in a positive space and a positive light to always ensure that you're up on the right pathway, and you know the Almighty will guide that pathway. You know, but if you invite in any form of negativity, then the devil might take over your pathway.
Do you agree that lyrics in songs with like popular entertainers will encourage some of us to go do some foolishness? You agree with that?
I most certainly think that lyrics has some impact and influence on individuals because, you know, even in Jamaica for years, the three biggest influences have been politicians, entertainers, and the church. Right? So what we do will definitely influence the youth somewhat. I think the biggest issue is living the life of crime. We have some entertainers who do certain type of lyrics, and we can't say the man that writes conscious music is way more talented than the man that writes gun lyrics. Maybe that's just his talent right there. You know what I mean? However, when they've entered into a life of crime and start to live that life there, you know have the youths being drawn to that life, and they're attracted to that life because they think it is the cool lifestyle, it's the go-to lifestyle. You know what I mean? So I strongly believe that music needs to remain music and not intertwine it with your personal life or bring this life of crime, which it cannot work.
But music is such a personal thing to anybody who listens to it. So my question would be how you kind of disassociate the two. I mean, you yourself say in this article that we read that you do listen to tune that have gun lyrics and that have violence in there. How do you ensure that it does not adversely affect you and your thought?
I mean, and that's the thing. It's all about, like you say, influence. Influence is very important. I've molded myself, and thank God also for my parents and family who have helped to mold me into an individual who I value music as something that I simply just listen to and puts me in a mood, but not something that I act on. Not because I might hear something that song means something, I say, oh, I'm going to go outside and literally be wanting to do it. I'll just listen to it and say, oh, he was creative with his lyrics. The way he just, made such a example that was very creative, but it never strikes me to go out and ever think of hurting somebody. I'm human before anything. As I say, my human side will always allow me to think humane and try to have a positive outlook on certain things. You know what I mean? I'm not going to allow it to take over my whole mindset. I have to control myself, control my body, control my mindset, and all of these things. So it's very important that from a tender age and at an early age, we put certain things into our youths, grow our youths as leaders, let them have a mindset of their own so that they can make decisions that a leader would make and not a follower.
Yeah, but you said something interesting before, because you said you're not suggesting that the person who do what some people might call decent lyrics is any better than the person who do gun lyrics. So what about the artists who say that is what the people want to hear? I am not like that. I don't walk with gun. I don't tell anybody if I go kill anybody. But this is what the people want to hear, and I'm in the business. What about that artist? I'm going to sing that because I'm going to get plenty pull up or however you want to call it and all kinds of stuff. And he's making money, but him don't stay like that. He's a very decent, very calm person. What about that person? You don't think he should sing those kind of lyrics?
And this is what I'm saying. I don't think an artist who sing gun music should be simply chastised if he doesn't enter the life of crime, because some people are only doing it for, an economic lifeline. This artist has a duty, though, to his fans to come out and let it be known. Whether I feel like it's going to go against his street credibility or I'm going to make him look like a punk, he has a duty to influence the youths to say, listen, my music is simply that. Music only. I'm showing my creative talent and that I'm a very good lyricist, writer, whatever. But this is simply music. Don't take it out of proportion. Please don't think this is who I am. Some of these artists who sing them gun lyrics here, they have kids. You know what I mean? Some of them kids can't even come out that always and talk about God. So you have to want that for people's children too. So you owe a duty to the public, to your fans, to the industry to make it known, And
what of the young people who don't have that kind of compass that you have, QQ, who will hear a song and know that it stops at the song because it's for entertainment only? Right. Do you think that artists, like the ones you spoke about a while ago, have a duty to the same young people to clean up their music, whether it's for making money or no?
I mean, first, we owe a duty to the general public, especially now with how we see the violence getting out of hand. And we have to think about the future. Without the future, the music is going to be dead. If there's no future, who are you going to sing to? We have to think about all of that. We certainly owe a duty to clean up our music, and not just our music, but clean up our act, to provide them a better Jamaica, a better tomorrow, a better opportunity. You get me? A lot of times I reach out to youths and I talk to them. I try to talk to them. They might say, yo, DJ, you're too soft, man. You need to attack it more violent. And I reason with them. I talk to them. They hear them point of view, and they look at me as an individual who's had a pretty good lifestyle, and they're like, yo, but want to be like you. I'm going to say, so ask yourself certain questions. You want to be like me. What do you think is going to bring you to this point? It definitely won't be negativity and any form of violence. You know what I mean? You can listen to your music, but you need to choose a pathway that's going to resonate and bring these things. You know what I mean? So we owe a duty to them to go out there, seek them out, talk to them, reason with them. You know what I mean? It's very important that we communicate with our fans and communicate with the general public and let them know how we're really feeling. You know what I mean? We need more outcry from everybody when we see these things happening. You know what I mean? Entertainment should be on the forefront right now, saying, no, stop this gun, stop this crime, stop the violence, you know, just like the leaders should be, just like the churches should be. It's a collective effort, you know?
What's stopping you from doing that?
Well, I've been on the front of the newspaper.
Okay.
Final
Okay,
question.
so you're doing your part.
Final question from me. What's going on with you right now with the music?
I'm just still continuing to do music. The pandemic has been a rough one. I didn't do any show in 2020, but I strongly believe that everything happens for a reason. Maybe God is just putting me on a different path and turning out new page for me. But I've been putting out some songs, quite a few songs from last year to this year, and my streams have gone up significantly. So I definitely know that once everybody gets vaccinated and shows can happen again, I should be partying all over the place.
Outside.
You will take the vaccination?
I'm considering it. I'm a reader, you know, I read a lot. So I like to read first and kind of be in the know about what's really happening with this vaccine. Yeah.
Good to
I
see
don't know if it can contain the strains that they have.
Yeah. Good to see you. Look after yourself.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man.
Have a good one.
God bless.
Yeah.
All right. So do the outro now?
All right, Simone. Recording artist, cute.
I don't speak like that.
She's Jamaican pastors, Gary Guns. After the break, social media talk back with Suko. So like Simone.